All right, start the meeting with pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll start this commissioner meeting, February 21st. First order of business is the approval of minutes from the regular meeting on February 6th.
I'll make a motion to approve with minor changes. Changes being
The money.
two changes, adding the amount that was awarded for the community crossings contracts and the HVAC contract.
All right, and I'll second that motion. So I've got a motion by Jamie, second by myself to approve the minutes with changes. All in favor?
Aye.
Next up, we have the approval of claims.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion by Jamie, second by Jerry to approve claims as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Next up, we have update from Superintendent Mr. Thomas.
We had a water issue on Grand Creek Road. The water was getting over the road. You get about an inch of rain, it didn't go across the road. So I got hold of the landowners in the area, and we got in there and we fixed that, so it's no longer running across the road. So if you hear anything about that, Jerry, anybody's probably won't say good about it, but we did get it fixed. It's not going across the road now.
That's the one, is that one of the ones you also asked the DNR about?
Of course, been doing the maintenance on the gravels. Been cleaned up trees, cleaned out some road ditches. We had some blocks that fell over on Antioch Road. The guys replaced, fixed them. We're patching roads. We installed all new culvert pipes on Elam Road. They're all done. Getting ready for the asphalting. The salt bins are all been replenished. It's all full again. Worked on a slip on Green Valley Road. Guys fixed that one. The crossing on Popcorn that I had closed, we dug it out today. You can't get, it's too
It's
dangerous.
right there pretty close as you start up the hill, isn't it?
Dug it out, but we're gonna probably have to rent a piece of equipment to bust the rest of the concrete up. We're probably gonna put a pipe in there. I don't think the DNR has any jurisdiction on that one, so we're good to go on that. Let's see what else. Oh, and I am working with the NCRS, which Conservation Place, for some money for slips. They pay 80/20. So like the slips we got in the county, instead of us working out county money, get some government money, and pay 100% on engineering. So I'm in the stages. I talked to a couple for other surrounding counties. That's what they're doing. They do some sheeting. They drive sheeting in the ground and they
Sheet
do,
piling.
yeah, and they do nailing and nail back in. You don't have to dig. You just go in there and do it.
So now,
So nailing.
I've heard of both, but I don't know what either one is.
I got pictures, but I should have had them made so you guys could see them. But it's pretty interesting.
It seems to me like Dearborn County uses actually Roberts to do
They do.
rather sheet piling.
You're correct. He
Yeah.
does. He drives for them. There's a guy, he's out of Lexington, Kentucky. He's pretty good on this. I'm gonna get in contact with him tomorrow. And the road grader is up and running.
Good.
The guy's got it going. I got a little sheet metal put on it, but they got it going.
Good.
Still looking for a mechanic. We'll put 2 weeks. I have nobody
Start
slot
over application.
no applications yet. He's done.
Last week.
Yeah, he's out. So, all I got for you guys, but I think
Sharing that.
the NCRS thing, I think that'd be a good thing for the county. If we can get involved like they are in Dearborn and Jefferson County, because that saves taxpayers money. I mean,
Is
county.
that the same one that, I don't know if it was Katie Collier or whoever
Yes.
sent some information on during the flood?
Yep.
Okay.
Talked to Tom Grivey in Dearborn County. And he uses it all the time. He loves it.
What was it you said about any?
There were some blocks when you go down, they'll start down the hill, blocks through and that big pipe that fell over. we had to replace them. We just straightened it back up.
You ask Dennis if they get some spare time to do a little bit more burning than do there. There's a few spots where it's pretty big drop offs. If you get off the pavement,
Sure will.
they can do a little more burning. How long is Fairview? Be closed?
180 days.
Is it definitely closing the first?
Yeah.
But culverts will be open.
Yeah. And Burrow, I forgot, there's a lady that lives on Burrow, her road's falling in the creek also. And the guy from DNR said the best thing for us to do would be move the road over and just let nature take its course. So she called me today and give her that scenario. She said, okay, that's fine.
Is it, she on the property where the road is?
She owns the property, she only house back there, it's a dead end road. I said, I wouldn't go spend $200,000 to fix that. It's not feasible for us.
What road is it?
Burrow, we come down Fairview, we get to Culverson, it's on the right-hand side.
Oh, okay. There was one house back there.
One house. And she said, you can move the road over, that's fine. So that'll save us, I mean, we'll have to spend some money to move the road, but that'll help us too. The guy from the DNR said it'll finally, it'll get
Yeah, to it.
its own trail again,
We probably get a written easement statement from her or on it from her.
I'll get something.
Well, yeah, she would better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go in there and just start digging.
Oh, yeah, that, we have to get Brian to write something up.
Yeah, I would think it'd have to be
Have to do a
surveyed.
survey on it,
Yeah. So I need to get him.
Yeah, we'll have to get started on that. I told her not, wouldn't expect anything next couple of weeks. I said, it will take us a little bit to get started.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. So we got nothing on old business. Nothing popped up.
Nothing
We
popped
do
up.
have one thing, right? That was the
The cell phones.
cell phone, yes, ordinance.
That's the only thing I forgot to add it, but
Yeah, we can go
this is what Susie had given me. I don't know if she sent this to you guys or because you wanted to know who all was on the plan.
Yeah, she emailed us and stated what was included and everything that was in the ordinance is what the actual billing is for. That was our only question.
Right.
So and then that's the ordinance that was needing to be signed last time. Right?
I think so.
That's what she had given me.
Yeah, cause we tabled that last.
Yeah, sorry.
And one of the questions we also asked was,
How the ordinance is numbered.
well, not so much how it's numbered, instead of revising, we're always issuing new ordinances. I'm not sure that's the correct.
Correct.
There
Method.
should be a revision from what I've read, but that's what she gave me.
I mean, we can go ahead and adopt this as a new ordinance, but I think we need to find out for sure. I mean, because we should be able to see that revision
Mhm.
history, and just by adopting new ones,
never
you don't
know.
see that.
And that we don't have an answer yet, or we're not sure.
We're not sure yet, evidently.
Okay. Because this one right now is
That's the one
got,
that
it's got,
she gave me. Does she
right,
have it
so
as
that's-
a one?
no, this is the same, this is the date as of last meeting,
Right.
when she would have created when she printed it. Because, this is saying it supersedes previous ordinance of 10/4/2021.
Mhm.
So I guess
So that's a revision. I mean, where does it say?
maybe she added that.
Yeah.
If I kept the copy, she gave us the copy.
I don't think she gave us that.
No, she didn't. I didn't have an old copy anyway.
I do.
Do you?
Did say it, didn't it?
Did that already have it in there?
You
So
want it rewritten?
It's called out there, I guess we need to make sure that these are being called out, or the ordinance would need changed to something like a 10/4/2021-2. Right?
Something to that effect, right? We just need to understand what is the proper method. If it is issuing a new ordinance, then fine. If it's some method of revision,
Do we need
Number
to
and-
get Pat's information on that?
Probably, because I don't know, I mean, we could try looking it up, one of us, but if we can't find it, then possibly reach out to Pat.
Basically just an amendment. Where, was that the one, I think, for changing a couple, some of the,
Yeah, adding the UMR
yeah, the ones that had to go to the,
jetpacks.
I would think that would just, you don't have to change the whole ordinance, it's just be a revision.
Okay.
I mean, that's my opinion, but I'm not sure.
Right, but then making, because right, as we have done some of these, we're getting assigned new ordinance numbers. So you're doing like a new ordinance by themselves and they weren't properly tied. So I'll get with Pat and confirm that.
If it's legal, yeah, I mean, Jamie makes a good point. If it's legal, the revision trail would give us a trail.
Right, now it's calling out that it supersedes previous ordinance number. However, I can't say for sure whether that's being included in all of them. So we'll confirm and try to get a,
I know that other ordinance number, we just adopted it, what, a year ago? So, and I don't know if that ordinance says that it supersedes
Correct.
for it or not, so.
correct.
I thought Doug Foster was gonna be
He's
here.
supposed to be here.
Oh, yeah, for our next item. So we'll table the cell ordinance. I'll confirm. I'll try to get with Pat and see what we can do.
Okay.
Okay, and the next on our new business, we did have Doug Foster for the Great Plains telephone contract renewal, but we don't have him here yet. Okay. And then, it's not on the agenda, but I had spoken with the insurance, I think you spoke with insurance. Was it Gardner? Yeah,
Yeah,
As far
I
as-
didn't get the email sent out to the department heads today, but
okay,
that's all I
okay. Is there anything I can do to help you on that? Is it just letting them know, or would you gonna,
do. And it's not all department heads, it's.
just those that like with the vehicles?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll just have to come in,
And she sent me a list of all the vehicles.
right, okay. So this is the renewal for the Gardner insurance, which is, covering all the vehicles, so they're coming to the, I guess they're doing the quote out for the renewal.
That's how I understood it.
Right, so then all of those folks that have vehicles in the county have to come and more or less sign off on them and make sure that what they're
think there's
quoting to
3 or
have
4
insured
questions.
are the vehicles that we do have on our books. And then I think there was a second piece though of the cybersecurity. But that goes to everybody, or not just to Marty.
She told me that Marty needed to fill that out.
Okay, yeah, I was just reading the email, so maybe I read that wrong, that, because that, I think, everyone, I think, has already had seen that the first time around.
Mhm.
So maybe it's Marty is signing off, because I know we had to implement the new email,
Mhm.
and then a couple of things, so if you're. Okay. Anybody have any board reports?
I don't have any,
No.
should be meeting with, sometime in June.
My boards have not met yet. Nothing for you.
Not board reports, no.
Okay. Announcements or other topics? What do you got?
A couple things, the property management advisory committee meeting, first meeting is tomorrow night at 5:00. The, just flood update again, I reached out to Homeland Security, actually yesterday, but then I realized it was a holiday after I left the message, so obviously I returned the call yesterday, I called again today. Was able to get a hold of someone, didn't get a lot of information, so I have reached out to the governor's office to see if I can get some assistance on what type of support the county will be getting from the state, if any, and when. So hopefully I'll get a call back tomorrow from someone from the governor's office giving us some information, if nothing else.
Okay.
what did you call that, Jamie, the property management advisory?
Maybe, yeah,
The law working on the board of ordinances.
correct.
So,
Jerry, do you have any announcements?
no.
Okay, Anthony?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have two new ordinances that.
Okay.
One is for the health department. They received money for, the IU Fairbanks workforce. And I just need this ordinance.
pass-through fund,
What's that?
a pass-through fund or for them to receive it.
Yes.
Okay,
And the same with, our office. We got the local assistance travel consistency. This is $850 that they got. It's just a one-time thing, partly filled out. And then ours is 50,000 twice a year, so.
Great.
Hers is unrestricted.
For a total of 100 or 200, can't remember,
One.
100.
it is indeed for the previous conversation about ordinances, these are both brand new
Those
ordinances.
are brand new, and I was told to, whatever number we ended in 22, that last number, I don't know, is it 12 and 13?
Yes,
Okay, so the last ordinance was in 22, ended with 11, so I started with 12 and then 13. That's what I was told. I don't know if that's right.
but I think
I
from a
just
new,
need-
from a new standpoint, as far as I understand, it's just making sure it's unique, which is why the date has been used.
I just need to get that one received again.
Okay, so I think, well, then we'll just need to do,
What was the one for your office?
It's the local assistance tribal money. It's a grant that was filled out last year, is my understanding. And there are some restrictions. The whole grant is upstairs in my office. If you guys wanted to look at it.
and that's 50,000
We've already got
Once a year
50,000 and that's just.
for 1 year?
And we'll get another 50,000 later in the year.
Okay, but it's a 1 year, which is $100,000.
Yes.
Okay, so then on these, we'll just need to do a single reading and a unanimous vote, ideally to pass these on. So the first ordinance is the Switzerland County Board of Commissioners, ordinance number 02-21-23-12. An ordinance establishing a new fund, fund number 8914, IU Fairbanks Workforce Incentive Fund. Is hereby ordained by the Board of Commissioners as follows. There is hereby established a fund to be known as the IU Fairbanks Workforce Incentive Fund, the fund. This unrestricted fund can be spent how the community determines. A motion to approve the creation of fund number 8914. Like that motion.
I'll take the motion.
Got a motion by Jerry, second by Jamie to approve fund number 8914. All in favor?
Aye.
The second ordinance is the Switzerland County Board of Commissioners, ordinance number 02-21-23-13. An ordinance establishing a new fund, fund number 8951, Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund. Is hereby ordained by the Board of Commissioners as follows. There is hereby established a fund to be known as the Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund, the fund. This fund is restricted and cannot be spent on a lobbying activity. Otherwise can be spent as the monies in the general fund. I'll entertain a motion to approve fund number 8951.
I'll make the motion to approve fund number 8951.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion by Jamie, a second by Jerry to approve fund number 8951. All in favor?
Aye. If you want to, I'll call you that. Yeah, you can add them to the, agenda.
Okay. I didn't really know if you wanted them on there or what.
Yeah, we should. That way everybody is, it is fairly accurate.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is my first agenda, so.
Gotcha.
This is that bill that I talked to you earlier about.
Oh, $500.
Yeah, I didn't know what you wanted me to do with it. 513.
We can go ahead and, oh,
He just said that, like, if they,
we could approve this for material and labor, basically, to put the baseboard up on upstairs in the new part of the courthouse, that 6-inch, yeah.
Yeah, the larger one. So this was just the, like, the overage or the,
It really was material only, he didn't charge us any labor.
oh,
there's
okay.
extra up there somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he had,
it's laying up
he-
there.
he- that was stuff he had mentioned he was gonna bring, we would have the extra, right? He had to get two sections.
Yeah, there's a partial roll of layer.
Yes. Okay, so we've got the extra 513.51 for material on baseboards, on the repair, which office is the
It's in the hallway.
hallway?
Yeah.
Okay, courthouse hallway.
Tri-State Painting and Pressure Washing, and that
Well, it's supposed
company
to
name
make
that
about,
did the work.
well, Chris Stewart is who did the work.
Oh, really? I thought it was Jimmy.
I think Jimmy did the quote, but he had someone else to do it later.
So she get paid.
But the,
He said the money is due to this gentleman.
I know it's material only.
right, and so it says, James, here it says James Stewart is where it,
James, yeah, Chris, yeah.
yeah, is where who bought the material.
So basically, it's just a material reimbursement. It's an amount of 500,
Correct.
whatever it is.
$513.51. So I'd make a motion to approve the material reimbursement of $513.51 to Mr. Stewart for the baseboards and the courthouse material.
I'll second the motion.
Got a motion by myself, second by Jamie, to approve in the amount of $513.51 for the material in the courthouse for baseboards. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Leave that.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Yvette and I were talking, and she had this from last year where you guys had asked for following budgets for the commissioners to review at the first of the month. So she asked, you guys had agreed, you and Susie, I'm assuming, to get these budgets monthly so you can watch
See
them.
what happened relative to, yeah.
I know I hadn't done that for January or February, but she just found this last week. So is this something you guys still need?
It's
or
definitely
still want?
something I think what we need, because if you remember right, especially for the animal shelter, we come in at the end of the year and ask for $16,000 in appropriations.
So- Is this okay if I just email them to you, or do you want a hard copy for me to have at the meetings? Unless it's
I think
an
let's,
issue.
let's get to a format. So I think the goal is, hey, we've got these now budgeted out for the year and it's broken out by month. The goal is for us to see how are we pacing. So I think that if it's really is revisioning one line per department, well, a couple of, a section for each
Right.
department, and
Mhm.
it probably be as simple as a one sheeter. I think that is not meant to provide us so much detail at the line item level that we're digging in there. It's if we see issues,
Mhm.
then we can start digging in or ask, a department head to come in and explain or
But like
justify.
the animal shelter, and I'm just using her because she's on top. I mean,
Sure.
she may have different things, and I know that her gas and her professional services, that's what went over last year.
Right.
So it might just be one page. See what I'm saying? Because she's gonna have different line items that could. I can just pull them up and.
It
see.
might be
It doesn't
better to
really-
get the line item report. The only reason I say that is because where you have the one-time hits on insurance and that sort of thing, timing is gonna put you, if you just look at it as as an average of the total 12 months,
Correct.
the higher cost items that hit early in the year is
Right.
gonna make you look like you're over, but on an annualized basis,
Mhm.
you're not going to be, because it's a one-time charge.
Okay.
So I mean, it's up to you guys, however you want to see it, but.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
see how you got it organized now, and we can play around with
Okay.
it. There's not-
I can just email it to you and then if.
Let's start there.
Then we need the hard copies because we need to address this.
The other thing that we haven't gotten forever that I would like for us to start getting again is, our fund allocations and balance.
For the commissioners?
Commissioners, the one we usually get had commissioners and everybody on it, but all I care about is commissioners, obviously.
Probably what she's talking about in here too.
Every meeting, usually.
Because a lot of,
We
well,
haven't been getting that. for
just like we approved that $500 and some dollars, I'm gonna assume that we've got $500 in the fund, but
Sure.
like if Anthony comes and says, hey, we need $10,000 to repair a grader, and that's a different story. We don't know, we don't have visibility, so we don't know what the balance is, and that's fine.
on that equipment.
I know a few months ago it was negative $7,000, a couple months ago, so. But it was because of an error. In
Yeah.
22, we agreed to pay $750,000 for asphalt projects, and actually $1 million of commissioner's money got put into the asphalt road preservation fund. So 250 needed to go back into
Okay.
to that fund. So that's the reason it was negative, but nevertheless.
Because when we were talking about this, she brought up that there's usually, and the tech building is on here, because the tech building really doesn't make money. I mean, I know there's rental income, but there's also bills, obviously, but she said usually there's money that gets transferred over to
To the
that.
tech building,
So is that just as needed? Do we wait until?
typically as needed,
Okay.
but I mean, the tech building still has a budgeted, amount,
Right.
and it's a line item just like every other,
Mhm.
budget or fund. So it's important again, and I'm gonna guess the tech building, a lot of theirs last year was also gas or
Right.
utilities anyway. so.
Probably the utilities with.
I mean, utilities was what they blew, I think they blew their budget the previous, or in 21, was what the utilities had gone up significantly.
Okay.
But we got a lot of those offices rented last year, so I know that,
Yeah, there's rental.
Yeah, that should be better than
Yeah, that-
historically it
It has
has.
to be better now,
Yeah.
like the,
Okay.
that engineering company for the state that's paying that rental.
Yeah.
That
Well-
money's coming in to help pay utilities now.
correct.
Where before it wasn't.
Do we have any open offices over there currently? Are they?
I think there's two downstairs,
Yeah.
right? Two down
There's a class-
on there.
Yeah.
I think we had a renter or two that might have been finishing up. Probably two renters that were waiting for home internet with the new internet high speed, so I think they were thinking about getting out, but I don't know if that's occurred.
To the best of my knowledge, it hasn't,
And,
but
Okay.
I think that's all. I sent this to you, the incident that Anthony
Mhm.
gave me. And then this is the salt box offering, just want me to bring it.
oh, yeah, I told
Wes-
Leslie to have you get it on, go ahead and put it on the agenda.
So all the
We-
stuff
we
you
just
just
bring it.
gave us for half an hour, we've been on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you only get it, like,
Yeah,
right
yeah,
on,
I know.
you know.
Yeah,
so
that happens, that happens.
The water, Anthony called me about the water softener
we-
at the nurse managed clinic is leaking and we need a new one. It currently has a commercial water softener that my understanding is way larger than it needs to be. He had, I think it's Booney's water softening maybe.
Yeah.
He'll come in and give us a quote on one, to replace it. My only unknown is I don't know who's responsible for are we responsible for all of the
Salt.
maintenance, et cetera, to the nurse managed clinic? And
Was somebody putting salt in there?
I would assume since they,
Who was buying it?
Booney's
I don't know.
probably.
it's probably under their contract.
I would be willing to guess
Possibly,
Booney's
probably.
Salt, puts the salt in, if we've got a contract with them.
I mean, we may get a bill for that. I don't know where.
Right, but this is a bill, this is a cost to put in, this isn't a service contract.
Right.
Which I guess if we have an existing service contract, this would fall under it.
That didn't answer your question, did it? Are we responsible?
Yeah, historically, we've been one that, I mean, all the maintenance for the nurse practitioner clinic, we fund.
Yeah, I believe so. I could be wrong, but I mean, it's our building. So anytime any of the majors like HVAC or plumbing or anything like that, it usually falls in our lap. I could be.
So we're talking,
Well, I think you're right, because I think I remember approving, well, we were responsible for all the landscaping
Yeah.
and snow removal and all
we've
that,
had some
so.
utility or equipment repairs out at the animal shelter. We had to fix the HVAC system last year.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that we are responsible.
So I think we've got two topics here. We've got to do a review and approval of the replacement because that's broken. But then I think as a takeaway, we need to find out who's servicing it, or are we covered under an existing service contract? Somebody's got to be forgetting salt, putting salt in there.
Right.
Wesley's not here to know. He probably would maybe able to answer that question, but may check with Wesley first.
Before we approve anything.
No, just,
Before you approve that.
no, I was saying we have two
Okay.
separately, because once we get it in there, who's putting salt in it or who's.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's an existing one there and
Right.
it has to be getting salt somehow.
Right.
Yeah, it'd just be good for us to know. So, okay, so right now I have a quote from BWC for the replacement, for a new water softener in the amount of $2,175.
He then that, I'm sorry, he then that saying that one is a little smaller than the ones down there. We don't need a big one.
Correct.
And that is, installation included.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
We got a motion by Jerry, a second by Jamie to approve BWC to replace and install the water softener at the Nurse Managed Clinic in the amount of $2,175. All in favor?
Aye.
Don't need a signature or anything on this. Okay. Yeah. Those are done. Okay. Anything else?
No,
No. All right.
next time I'll have everything on the agenda, I guess.
It's all right. It's good. We can squeeze it in there. What else? Jeff, I think you had sent us a note about maybe getting on the agenda next time or today, or did I read it?
Well, I didn't get
I
a,
emailed it
Okay.
to all of you. He is requesting a meeting with both the council and the commissioners.
Right.
He is doing a grant and it's,
we talked about renovating the garage space
Yeah.
with you guys, and we were going to check into some grant possibilities to
Right.
fund that. We have come across a grant opportunity right now.
Okay.
That deals with the opioid settlement money that the county received. And it's approximately $87,000, but the state is willing to match that. I think we talked about renovations, it was roughly about $90,000. I don't know the exact bid.
Yeah, and I think we might have gotten one or two of the bids back, and there was a little bit of, there was gonna be some design that still had to be confirmed as far as how many offices, 1-story, 2-story, and things like that. That wasn't gonna change the price, but I think we had abandoned that project once you guys changed, like directionally where you wanted to be.
Well, ideally, we still would like to be there, just temporarily. We didn't know the funding opportunities, and we just had a grant come up, in which we was going to ask and see if that was still a possibility to maybe renovate that space. But then I have to get with the council to see if they're willing to allow us to use the opioid dollars. This is money that's given to the state or from the state. Wouldn't really be any additional cost to the county whatsoever.
So like you'd be requesting a portion, roughly half out of the opioid grant that we already have. And then of that half, it would then be matched by a second grant that would need to be
Yeah,
applied
actually,
for.
the state, it's not necessarily one for one. We can actually get additional funding from the state and above and beyond that. Right, so, but I would request from the council at least 45, at least, depending on what the bids were. See if they would be willing to do that.
Okay, who's the administrator over that grant? Do you know?
Well, actually, I mean, the grant I'm going to be applying for,
No, I'm sorry, the existing opioid, the 40 some, or the 80 some thousand you said we've already have.
it's council.
So is
There's
the,
restricted funds and there's unrestricted funds. But the idea of it is it's to go towards treatment-oriented options. And I think we can word it to the point where we can utilize at least some, there's like 15 pages of different things that can be used for. But part of that is renovation for a space like we were wanting to do with some meeting rooms for our youth programs or recovery resource or recovery specialists. So I think if we can word it correctly, we should be eligible for it.
okay,
So are you talking using that for long-term purposes or in the?
Well, the state has offered, this is a matching grant and it's for the first 2 years, 2022, 2023 opioid settlement money. And so roughly when I figured it out, Switchland County received, it's about $87,000.
No, I mean, my question is there, the discussion of you getting that done to move y'all over there, and then the security reasons came up and said, no, we don't want to do that.
Well, the security reasons, that was just an assessment. There's no, we felt like with the renovation of the courthouse, it was good to get the assessment and see what they recommended. Nothing that is recommended is anything that's mandated by the state. It was just something we saw and we thought to discuss going forward. But that room would be a pretty secure room with, there's only 2 doors in and out. They could be keyed for us. So the security side of it wouldn't be as big of a necessity, I guess.
security could be incorporated into the build in a way that would meet. your
Yeah, I mean, you
needs.
could probably put some cameras in or something along those lines and, keep the doors locked at all time and then we can go in and out, and get our people. But I don't know, it's just a lot. Yeah. So I know that space is not being utilized. I mean, it's kind of a catch-all right now.
Right.
And I don't know that it would interfere with Mr. Bond and his funding for the tech program, or I don't know if he gets funding or anything like that.
No, I know that
Based on-
when we originally looked at it, we had extra space and I know Susie had spoken with them that, maintaining some of that, having a garage, and having that space would still be utilized.
Yeah.
And would give them enough space what they.
They had that sally port there, and none of that would be utilized. It's just basically sally port towards the door, and that would be the space where, has to be utilized.
Okay.
And like I said, I no guarantee out there where you're going to be able to get this grant. It's a competitive grant. But we just wanted to see if it was still an option going forward. If essentially get your blessing to maybe proceed with that. Again, I still got to get council approval as well to see if they're willing to do the fund. But essentially, this is a matching grant. I mean, we can double our money and utilize it towards what the opioid settlement funding was intended for. None of it's right for at this point. I mean, the settlement's over a 16-year period. The first 2 years are front loaded, but the funds diminish, they dwindle down. But in total, over the 16 years, we're getting $106,000 in unrestricted funds, and $247,000 in restricted funds. And that restricted funds can only be utilized for certain things, kind of what we're planning on using it for.
Okay.
So I think the issue, if I remember correctly, was one, we basically had a sketch that we asked people to quote off of, and I think we only ended up getting either 1 or 2 quotes. The other contractors didn't even quote it. So probably the first step in the process is going to be actually get some architect drawings for people to actually quote.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and the grant, I mean, if we, I'd like to go ahead and proceed to try to get the grant. I mean, I guess if something falls through, we give the money back to the state or whatever, the matching side of it. But I think this is kind of a one-time opportunity, at least to double our money. And when it comes down to it, essentially this opioid settlement with the matching grant from the state. When it costs us county $1, I mean, you're already paying for upkeep on that building anyways. I think us being there wouldn't add too much to the utility bill. Yeah. And again, I can't speak for council, but I mean, I think it's a real win-win for all of us.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, and it's the Patriot received money, we received money. I mean, all in total over the 16 years, it's going to be $415,000. Counties receiving from that settlement.
So we gotta find projects and find causes that we can put it to, especially that restricted funds for sure.
Especially the restricted funds. Yeah, the unrestricted funds, there is no direction, no guidance on that. I mean, it can be utilized for, you name it, whatever. But the restricted funds are, yeah, they are restricted.
Okay.
So Jeff, are you guys currently in the annex or the old courthouse?
Yeah, we're up on the second floor right now.
Or the old courthouse?
Yeah, right above us here, yeah. New portion, yeah, that's right, the new portion, yeah. So we're back into our original offices. Yeah, back in our original offices. And again, I mean, we're still looking, we're asking council for additional staff too, with the judge's office and our office too. If we could renovate that new space, it would incorporate all that and fill the needs of what the judge is asking for too.
So are you then saying you need more or less go ahead from council and commissioners to?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to get the go ahead from the council. That's what the request is. Grants due in a week. So we've already worked on it.
We just kind of come here tonight to give you guys a.
Yeah, and so I just came down tonight to see if that was still an option, if that's, I still like to go ahead and try to apply for the grant. I mean, there's no guarantee that we'll get it, but we could utilize it to our benefit, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think from my perspective, I would give my blessing to go ahead and get applied. And then obviously we just have to scope it out and get final quotes, and then we can get council on board for a financial standpoint and using those funds, but obviously doubling our money and adding some value from our restricted fund would be very good for the county.
Yeah, because the first 2 years, again, they're front loaded for ours. It's basically $61,000 in restricted funds for the first 2 years. We haven't received the 2023 portion of that yet, but the grant is geared towards 2022, 2023.
Have you targeted any other projects for that at this point?
We have a number of different projects incorporated into that. Recovery support specialist, which we already currently have a grant. Meeting space for our youth programs that we're expanding. Additional staff for the female youth.
So what portion of that 61,000 will that?
We're actually doing incorporated in that grant. We're going to ask for those funds from the state as well.
In addition.
Gotcha. Yeah. Again, I mean, this is nothing that's going to cost the county anything. It's not an employee we're hiring. It's all paid through grant money. I just thought utilizing that building since we're paying maintenance on it. I don't know that it would really. Because the space is just not being utilized. It's just a catch-all right now. Still have the Sally Port there to be able to use that side of it. Again, I don't think it interfere with, Mr. Ball and what he designed here for that. And I think eventually they'll want to get Ivy Tech back there too as well. So we're trying to get a collaborative, all the services that we can offer. We have the GED program in there. We have the AA and Ivy Tech back in there. Really start utilizing that building.
Do you need anything else from us? Okay. Randy, do you have anything for us?
I'm just sorry I'm late. I just want to get out and watch the music.
All right. I think that's everything we have on the agenda and some. Do I have a motion to adjourn or anything else? Anybody has? Back to that motion. Okay. Got a motion to adjourn by Jerry.
I'll second.
Second by Jamie. All in favor?
Aye.
James, these time sheets.
Yes.
So if you can make it-
And these first.